Alright, so today we are going to make filter coffee using a Moka pot. Now this is a slightly different situation because filter coffee has its own way of being prepared or brewed. But I would like you to have a look at the grind. This is what I've got from the packet. So you can see it's fairly coarse ground and very similar to what I got from another company when I ordered for a French press. So it was kind of similar, but this one is a bit finer than a French press related, ground coffee. So I felt maybe I could use this for Moka pot as well because I used that French press ground coffee for Moka pot and it came out pretty well. So let's see how this goes. Alright, so here's the Moka pot that I have. This is the smallest one I could get since I'm going to be trying this for the very first time. I thought might as well get a small one, and if I'm confident I'll go for bigger ones next. So yeah, this is how it is, fairly small, you can see. And this is where the percolation happens. So I'll just keep this aside for now. Now inside the pot, this is where you actually place the water. But this, what you have here, is the basket. That's how it is. Alright, so the coffee will go inside this basket. Inside this, we will pour some water, which will be just below this valve. Alright, so let's keep all this aside. Oh, by the way, I also use this. So these things are pretty good for evenly distributing the coffee in the basket. So we'll come to it later, not right now. I also use at least a couple of filter papers. These are not bleached, so it is kind of brown. These are fresh filter papers that I'll be using. So one goes into the coffee basket. The other will go inside this. Right? Now we need some water. So this is going to be my cup for today. Let's weigh the cup. Alright, so this is 0 now. 346 grams is the weight of the cup. Let's stir it and let's pour some water. Alright, so 275 grams or 275 milliliters of water is there in this cup. Now I have poured the whole thing. However, for the purpose of our Moka pot, I'm going to heat all of this water in the heating kettle. How I'm going to use it is that the water that I'll pour into this will percolate into this chamber. However, since the coffee decoction is going to be fairly strong, I will use the additional water as a diluter. Now I prefer my coffee with milk, so I will add some milk powder to it as well. So with that being said, let's keep this aside for now. Let's put this back to 0 and we'll fill in our basket. All right. So let's go ahead and measure the basket. I'm going to wet the filter. Just going to place it here. All right. So as you can see, I have properly placed the filter into this. All right, totally cleaned. So this by itself is 12 grams. We're going to tear it and let's see how much coffee comes into this. Just gently, shake it so it comes even. So alright, this was one level scoop. One level scoop is 5 grams. So this level scoop is 5 grams. Alright, so let's proceed. Yeah, level scoop. Yeah. About 9 grams. Okay, let's keep going. We still have space. So about 12 grams. So I leave it at here. I'm going to use this thing. I'm going to take my time. I'll go about slowly, easily, no hurry. And that is what I enjoy about brewing coffee. Doesn't matter if it is French press or Moka press. I just enjoy this process. Okay, so I have shaken it up. Now I'm just sort of, I don't know what you call this, but I'm just trying to, poke holes into this, if one might put it that way. All right, done. Cool. So let's leave it back here. 12 grams coffee. Now, if you ask me what ratio I'm using, I really don't have any ratio. How much of water goes into this? I'm going to make sure that it's always going to be, below this. So how much ever water that might be, 12 grams of coffee is what's going to go over it. So that's how I'm going to go about this. All right, now let's place this filter into this. I usually wet the filter because it kind of sticks and stays in place. That's the only reason. If there is any other logic behind it, do let me know. But I do it plainly for this purpose. So yeah, that's pretty much well stuck. Okay, so now we have our coffee ready. We have to now heat the water. Now again, heating water, some people say you don't have to heat the water. Some others might say yes, you have to. I would say just do what works for you. The reason I am heating the water before I put in this is because this seems to be a dark roast to me. If you look at it, seems kind of like a dark roast coffee. So I don't want to run the risk of leaving it on the stove for so long for the water to boil and then come up. In the meantime, that heat might sort of burn this a bit more. So just because of that, I'm going to preheat the water and put it in this. So let's go ahead and preheat the water. Alright, so water is heated. We are now going to start pouring. Now this one is just under the valve. There goes the basket, and here goes the top portion on that. Perfect. So our Moka Pot is ready, and we will now place it on the stove. Alright, so now we are going to light up the gas. Notice this thing, this is good because the Moka pot will not sit otherwise correctly. So I use this separate thing so that it's not right on the flames. It sits correctly and it is stable. That's more important. Alright. Now you have to not keep it at full, you have to keep it at the minimum. That's important. You don't want to burn your coffee. Alright, so keeping the cover open and we place it. And now we wait. There it comes. Look at that black gold. Alright, now we have to be careful that it does not overshoot. Yeah, that's a gurgling sound. Yeah. I have closed the gas completely. I'm just letting it settle down a bit. But once that oozing starts to lose color and it increases all of a sudden, you should really take it off. So I think it's stable now. Alright, so we have our coffee decoction that's just come out. Love the color. And I have my cup ready. I have added 2 scoops of milk powder and some jaggery. I prefer my milk with jaggery and milk powder. So, alright, so I will pour the coffee first and then I will pour more water depending on how much is needed. But that's quite a bit. Alright, now I'm going to top up the glass with hot water because filter coffee decoction is quite strong. So some additional water is required. Alright, there you go. Give it a good stir. I feel I need one more scoop of milk, but I think it's fine. I like the color, it's quite intense actually. Oh yes, it's amazing. Now one important thing, always wash this immediately. At least pour water in there, otherwise it will stain. So let's do that. So I just rinsed it and see the difference.